Well, as mentioned, we're just going to have our Bible reading in a slightly different form. Now, most of you would have received a handout which actually has the text for today. It's from Mark chapter 2, 1 to 17. But that's really there for your reference, because as we have the reading, I invite you to take it in orally and just engage with it this way. It's designed to be taken in this way rather than reading it. You can read it in a few minutes. And I'm going to sort of speak it and try and tell the story. And so there'll be a bit of movement here as well. And then, as mentioned afterwards, we'll engage in a little bit of discussion with some guided questions. And this is for two reasons, really. It's a way of helping us engage with a story you might have heard many times, but in a bit of a fresh way. But it's also to help us learn, how can we talk about this story, a story of Jesus, with others as well? So that's what we'll be doing over the next 15 minutes or so. So as mentioned, it's Mark chapter 2, verses 1 to 17, and I'll tell the story. A few days after healing a man with leprosy, Jesus again entered Capernaum, and the people heard that he'd returned home. They gathered in such large numbers that there was no room for anyone, even outside the door. And he preached the word to them. Now some men came, bringing to him a paralysed man, carried by 4 of them. But they could not get to Jesus because of the crowd. So they made an opening in the roof by digging down and lowered the man on the mat he was lying on. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the man, "My son, your sins are forgiven." Now some teachers of the law and Pharisees were also there, and when they heard this, they thought to themselves, "Why does this man talk like this? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?" Immediately, Jesus knew in his spirit what they were thinking in their hearts. He said to them, "Why are you thinking these things? Which is easier, to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up, take up your mat and walk'? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. So I say to you, get up, take up your mat and go home." And the man got up, took up his mat and went out in full view of all of them. And this amazed everyone, and they praised God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." Once again, Jesus went out beside the lake. A large crowd came to him, and he began to teach them. And as he was walking along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax collector's booth. And he said to him, "Levi, follow me." And Levi got up and followed him. While Jesus was then having dinner at Levi's house, he was eating with sinners and tax collectors, for there were now many who were following him. When the teachers of the law and the Pharisees saw him eating and drinking with sinners and tax collectors, they said, "Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Hear the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.